I'm Kelly from AMS, and I'm here with Fess from Korg. Hi, Fess.
What up? How you doing?
Really nice to meet you.
Likewise.
And we got some turntables over here. Tell me about them.
It's kind of strange to see some turntables at the Korg booth, right?
Yeah.
So these are the new Handy Trax portable turntables. Last year, this one was announced. As a matter of fact, I was really geeked out about this turntable when I saw it last year. So I'm happy to be back with Korg this year to be able to show it off.
They're really
nice.
These
are 3 different models. So starting with the Handy Trax Play, this turntable was actually made for turntablists, record diggers, sample collectors, those that want to actually take the records and do things with them. And it's built exactly for that. So this is the first of its kind, first of a turntable to actually have a multi-mode filter, as well as a looper on here, as well as a delay module on here, all built on this turntable. I got it hooked up. I could do some sound demos in a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
But new for NAMM 2025, we got the Handy Trax 1-bit and we got the Handy Trax tube. So we could start with the tube over here.
Sure.
So with this Handy Trax tube, this is built with the new tube vacuum tube that we first introduced in the Voca New Bass. So running the turntable through a tube, you just get more audio quality. You could hear more highs, hear more mids.
Right.
Just sounds more like the record, like the musician intended, right? But then these also come stock with a better needle. So Korg also collaborated with Jico, a small outfit based out of Japan, and Jico makes the drop-in replacements for the old Shure M44 needles. So we have the Jico J44 needles coming stock on this one as well as this one. This is the Handy Trax 1-bit. So take everything I just said with the Handy Trax tube, add that to the fact that you also have Korg's 1-bit digital to analog converter in here. And 1-bit, it sounds lo-fi, but it's very much not the case. It's Korg's super high resolution digital to analog conversion. And you got that built into this turntable. So what that means is you can come directly out of USB into your computer for recording, sampling, or whatever, using that 1-bit D to A. So this is definitely more your audiophile turntable. Same with the Handy Trax tube here. So these are more on the higher end, but the Play has been pretty popular just because of the fact that you can play records with it. So
yeah, that's very cool. The gold hardware is really nice.
Yeah.
Seems like you could do a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And we made this in full collaboration with Toshi Nakama, the late great founder and president of Vestax. He unfortunately passed away about a year or so ago. But this was the last things that he worked on before he passed away. So yeah.
Wow, important.
It's a meaningful product for us for sure. Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Kelly from AMS, and I'm here with Luciano from Korg. Hi,
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Happy to be back, NAMM 2025.
Yeah. Now, what do we got going on here? This looks very exciting.
This is a big release for us, but we're back now with Kronos. After lots of requests, our users said, we want it back, we have it. And this is the next generation. So maybe I'll take you through some features.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so let me go over what's new, but let's just start outside. You see it has a nice new finish. These cool wood side panels that have nice cutouts, make it easy as you're picking up the instrument.
Right.
Now coming into the middle over here, you're gonna see the display is new. So 2 things are improved about it. Number 1, it's very responsive, which is great if you're on stage in the studio.
Sure.
And the next thing, it has an anti-glare coating. So if you're like outside and there's a lot of light, different angles, it's gonna make it much easier to get a better viewing angle of screen.
Sure.
But probably the most important thing, we always hear from users like, we want it to be faster, we want the boot time to be faster. It has a whole new motherboard and processor, so it runs faster. And as a result, the boot time is now 66% faster.
Wow.
Which is like under 50 seconds, which is really important.
Yeah.
People are on stage, your power goes out, you have a faster boot up back. Other than that, we have new sounds. So we have about 250 new presets that are loaded in, but we maintain full compatibility. So anyone who has the old Kronos, Kronos 2, Kronos 1, can load right into the new Kronos, which is really great.
It's convenient.
And finally, double the SSD capacity, so more storage on board. Other than that, the same key bed. So 61 here has semi-weighted, and we have a 73 and 88 with fully weighted hammer actions.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
what are some of your favorite sounds?
Oh, well, I mean, I love pianos. I'm a piano player really at heart. Of course, I love synth stuff, but I'm happy that the Italian piano's under the hood now in the Kronos. And last year, if you were at NAMM, you remember we did a video on poetry, which is a really cool digital piano. that has Chopin's piano, the Play L included. We have that now under the hood too.
Oh, awesome.
So that's kind of fun that you can play something that's from the 1800s with tuning at A430.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
Cool. Yeah. So.
What else you got for me?
What else do I got for you? Fun fact about
Ooh.
Kronos. But I mentioned the new sounds, and what we've done is we've combined a mix of some of our programming teams around the world. So we have third-party libraries that usually get sold like for Kronos users, and we've incorporated some of those, like the greatest hits of those, all under the hood for people to check out. So that's kind of cool.
That's a great resource.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's pretty much Kronos 3. They're going to be coming in May, so we expect them to start shipping then. And we've had the same price also. It's been out for 4 years, and we're going to keep the same price that it left the market 4 years ago, which we're really excited about.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here with Shimmy from Korg, and we are going to walk through this very complex-looking machine.
Complex looking, but actually not that complex if you're familiar with basic principles of analog synthesis, or if you have one of our other synths like the Modwave, you'll be pretty right at home. It's intimidating at first, but this is a homage to the original Korg monopoly, but it is so much more than that. I mean, there is just tons and tons of capability here. So what I've been telling people, someone actually asked me if this would be a good synth for a beginner. And I said, I think a beginner could find their way around, but when they become more advanced, they're going to have a whole feature set waiting for them that's just going to absolutely blow everything out of the water. And I mean, the selling piece on this thing is just its sound. It sounds absolutely incredible. We're dealing with 4 oscillators per voice, 4-layer timbrality. And it's got this very cool layer rotating mode, so you can actually set up 4 completely different sounds, and as you're re-articulating a note, it will go through the layers.
Cool.
And you can really customize that. We've got dual filters with a ton of filter emulations. We've got the multi-poly filter, but the MS-20 low pass and high pass, which people love. A mini kind of a more ladder style filter, SEM style filter. And then if you go into more, there's all these other amazing filter profiles as well.
Wow.
So a ton of analog modeling has been done here. There are specific synthesizer envelopes that have been modeled as well. So you can really customize this to your heart's galore. It's also a great blend of West Coast and East Coast synthesis because in the classic mode, you have your oscillators that you're kind of used to, your saw, your pulse, your sine, triangle. But then digital is actually for wavetables, which you can load your own, or there's plenty here. And then a wave shaper is kind of a wave folder type thing. So you can really get to a huge variety of sounds. Dual filters, which you can run parallel, series, or stereo. And 5 LFOs, 4 envelopes, tons of great sounding effects. And it's just a complete powerhouse.
What would you say is the genre that this would tackle the easiest?
Sure. So I think that this kind of sound profile for me is rooted in analog synthesis, so kind of more classic synth tones, but more modulated. You want to do more with it. If you want to take kind of core principles and expound upon them and just make
elevate them.
Exactly, right. So, from a genre perspective, I mean, if you flip through the presets, and the presets, by the way, are unbelievable. Like, they're really, really well done. A lot of legends worked on them. They kind of cover the gamut. You've got your really classic, like 80s analog stuff. You've got your modern techno stuff, funk stuff, really practical. And we have it here in 3 different iterations. This is the module. We also have the keyboard. And then over at our computers, we have the native software. And it's absolutely fantastic. Well,
if I were to use this for the very first time, how would you recommend I start?
Honestly, going through the presets.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in letting the synth teach me through the presets. I really love that. I think that when you're handing these over to sound designers and they have a lot of time, the character of the synth is going to come out just based on them spending hours and hours and hours trying to, milk the sweet spots of it. And so I'm a big fan of kind of going through the presets, messing around with stuff, messing around with the chaos pads. These macro knobs are great and all do something to the sound. Messing with the sequencer, just really going through and changing things and seeing how it changes. That's what I would do to start. If you're a little more advanced, starting with an init patch is basically the exact same as it would be on any classic analog synthesizer. And, just turning oscillators on and off. And immediately I play with the layer rotate on almost every patch that it's available. So, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is this little chaos physics part mean?
So that is a really cool, and maybe it would be better to show this up close afterward, but you can kind of think of this as so this circle
Oh, wow.
You can use it as an XY axis
Okay.
for different parameters on the synth that you can set. So maybe you set one to cutoff, maybe you set one to resonance, maybe you set it to the high pass filter, the low pass filter, and this can actually bounce around.
Oh, wow.
So that's the physics part.
Awesome.
And create really, really interesting motion. So if you're really going for something and you want to just make it absolutely wild, you can send the ball on that kind of a thing. Or you can grab it and very intentionally give XY motion. So
Wow, it seems very sensitive to touch.
yeah, definitely. And you'll find this on other Korg products as well. It's kind of a staple at this point. But
That's really awesome.
Yeah, implemented in this form factor, it's very, very cool.
It seems like you can really customize every aspect of this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, the mod routing is incredibly easy. Just, it's literally just as simple as shift mod, and then you turn a source, you turn a destination. Everything is kind of where you'd expect it to be, which is why when I go back to your original question, is this good for a beginner? I would say to get the core basics, yeah, absolutely. I definitely saw a couple people come to the booth who had more limited knowledge of synthesizers, messing with the init patch, creating stuff on the spot. And so, slightly intimidating up front, but I think everything is kind of, at least in my opinion, where it should be. And I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, people sit back, let the synth teach them.
Exactly. Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. This was
Sure thing.
very insightful. If you want to check out all the awesome products that Korg has to offer, make sure to head on over to AmericanMusical.com.
Thanks so much.